with this song. This song is actually very much related to the topic we want to discuss today in our class. So this is a song written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This song comes in the book called Sharanagati. So in Sharanagati, he categorized different limbs of Sharanagati, and there are multiple songs under each limb. So this particular song falls in the category of Danya. I think it's Danya 4. Danya 4 song. Hare Krishna. Okay, so now it's better, right? So it says, so this is kind of, prayer of shortcomings to the Supreme Lord. Means like, I have so much faults in me, so please deliver me. So the first line says, Amaro jibon shoda paperoto nahiko punnero lesha. My whole life is always engaged in different kind of sinful activities, and I don't have any good qualities or any kind of pious credit in my life. Porero udbego diachi je koto diachi jivero klesho. I have given so much anxiety, so much pain to other living entity that is innumerable, that is countless. Next stanza. Nijo sukho lagi pape nahi dori doya hino swarthopor. For the sake of my own pleasure, own happiness, I am not afraid to commit sinful activities, and I don't have any kind of mercy. Doya hino swarthopor. I am completely selfish. Poro dukhe sukhi. Actually, this is a wrong word. It should be poro dukhe sukhi, means I am happy when I see other people suffering. Shoda mithya bhashi. I am always lying, or I am always telling untruth. Poro dukho sukho karo. What is it? Poro dukho sukho. Oh, yeah, means if I see someone suffering, then I feel actually pleasure. Yeah. Oshesho kamona ridi mache mor krodhi dombo parayon. I have countless, or I have unsatiable lust or desire to enjoy in my heart, and I am angry, I am arrogant in my mood. Modamatto sada bishoye mohito hingsha garbo vibhushan. I am always full of conceit. I am always arrogant. I am enchanted by the material pleasure, and my ornament is hingsha, means like enviness, and garbo is like pride. Yeah, these are my ornaments. Nidra alasya hato sukarje biroto akarje uddogi ami. I am inflicted by Nidra, sleep, alasya means laziness, and shukarji viroto. I am refrained of a good deed, means I don't do anything good, and always I am interested to do wrong things, wrong misgivings. Pratishtha lagiya shartho acharana. That's a wrong word also. Lobho hoto shoda kami. For the sake of my own fame, I always act selfishly, and I am derived, or I am driven by lova, greed, and always hankering for enjoyment. Shodakami. Eheno durjono sajjono borjito aparadi nirantar. I am this kind of a person who is devoid of all kinds of good association. And I am a sinful I am committing sins continuously. Aparadhi means like I am a wretched person. Yeah. Shubho karjo shunno sada anartho mana nana dukhe joro jor. I don't do any kind of auspicious activity. Always I think of, or my mind is hankering for doing misdeeds. Nana dukhe joro joro, and it's inflicted by different kinds of miseries. Bardokhe ekhono upayo bihino tate dino akinchano. Now I have come to this old age where I don't have any means to acquire name, fame, or any kinds of opulence. So I don't have any way to achieve those things. So I become very humble and become very poor. Bhakti Vinoda Prabhuro Charane Kore Dukkho Nivedana. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is offering this prayer to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, that I have so much faults in me, so much bad qualities, but still you deliver me. So this is kind of a humility, even though he doesn't have in actuality, but he feels like that. But this is a real scenario for all of us. Anyways, yeah, we can sing Mataji. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। পরের উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কত, দিয়াছি যে বের ক্লেশ। পরের উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কত, দিয়াছি যে বের ক্লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। নিজ সুখ লাগি পাপে নাহে ডরি, দয়াহীন স্বার্থপর। নিজ সুখ লাগে পাপে নাহি ডরি, দয়াহীন স্বার্থপর। পর সুখে দুঃখে সদা মিথ্যা ভাসে, পর সুখে দুঃখে সদা মিথ্যা ভাসে। পর দুঃখ সুখ কর, পর দুঃখে সুখে সদা মিথ্যা ভাসে। পর দুঃখ সুখ কর, অশেষ কামনা হৃদি মাঝে মোর, ক্রোধী দম্ভ পরায়ণ। অশেষ কামনা হৃদি মাঝে মোর, ক্রোধী দম্ভ পরায়ণ। মদ মত সদা বিষয়ে মোহিত, মদ মত সদা বিষয়ে মোহিত। হিংসা গর্ভ বিভূষণ, মদ মত সদা বিষয়ে মোহিত। হিংসা গর্ভ বিভূষণ। নিদ্রালস্য হত সুকার্যে বিরত, অকাজে উদ্যোগে আমি। নিদ্রালস্য হত সুকার্যে বিরত, অকাজে উদ্যোগে আমি। প্রতিষ্ঠা লাগিয়া স্বার্থ আচরণ, প্রতিষ্ঠা লাগিয়া স্বার্থ আচরণ। লোভ হত সদা কামি, প্রতিষ্ঠা লাগিয়া স্বার্থ আচরণ। লোভ হত সদা কামি। এহেন দুর্জন সজ্জন বর্জিত, অপরাধী নিরন্তর। এহেন দুর্জন সজন বর্জিত, অপরাধী নিরন্তর। শুভ কার্য শূন্য সদানর্থ মন, শুভ কার্য শূন্য সদানর্থ মন, নানা দুঃখে জড় জড়। শুভ কার্য শূন্য সদানর্থ মন, নানা দুঃখে জড় জড়। বার্ধক্যে এখনো উপায় বিহীন, তাতে দিনয়া কিঞ্চন। বার্ধক্যে এখনো উপায় বিহীন, তাতে দিনয়া কিঞ্চন। ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভুর চরণে, ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভুর চরণে, করে দুঃখ নিবেদন। ভকতি বিনোদ প্রভুর চরণে, করে দুঃখ নিবেদন। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, ঐক পুণ্যের লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। পারের উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কত, দিয়াছি যে বের ক্লেশ। পরের উদ্বেগ দিয়াছি যে কত, দিয়াছি জীবের ক্লেশ। হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম রাম হরে হরে। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। আমার জীবন সদা পাপে রত, নাহিক পুণ্যের লেশ। শ্রীল ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুর কি। Oh, can you please turn up 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? First we'll read the shloka, the verses, and then we'll read the translation. So this is our chat for this month, this chapter. We are reading either shloka or translation every day. or both of them as per your time permits. So this is okay, we can recite together. Atha Sharasha Adhaya Daivashur Sampada Vibhaga Yoga Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Avayam Satta Samsuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Danam Damascha Yajnascha Svadhyayastapa Ajabam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas Tyaga Shantir Apaishanam Daya Bhuteshwala Luptam Mardavan Rira Chapalam Teja Shamadhriti Shaucham Adraha Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Devim Abhijatasya Bharata Dambhadarpa Vimanascha Krodha Parasya Mevacha Ajnanam Cha Vijatasya Partha Sampadamasari Daivi Sampad Vimakshaya Nibandhaya Surimata Masucha Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasi Pandava Dobhuta Sargo Lokesmin Daiva Sura Evacha Daiva Vistarasha Prokta Asuram Partha Mershino Pravrittim Cha Nivrittim Cha Janana Vedurashura Na Saucham Napi Chacharo Na Satyam Tesu Vidyate Asatyam Apratishtham Te Jagat Ahur Anishwaram Aparaspara Sambhutam Kim Anyat Kama Hitukam Etang Drishting Avastabhya Nashtat Manalpa Buddhya Prabhavanti Ugra Karmana Shayaya Jagata Hita Kamamashritta Duspuram Dambhamana Madannitva Muhudgrihita Vasadgrahan Pravartante Suchibrata Chintam Aparimeyam Cha Palayantam Upashrita Kamapo Bhoga Marama Etad Bad Iti Nishyata Asha Pasha Satairbadha Kama Krodha Parayana Ihante Kama Bhogartham Ananyanirtha Sanchayan Idam Adya Maya Ilabdham Imam Prapse Manaratham Idam Astidam Apime Bhavishyati Punardhanam Ashu Maya Hata Satrur Hanishe Chaparan Api Isharaham Aham Bhagi Siddhaham Balavan Sukhi Adya Vijjavan Asmi Koanyastya Shadrisha Maya Yakshe Dasayami Madisya Iti Ajnana Vimohita Aneka Chitta Vibhranta Moha Jvala Samabrita Prakashata Kama Bhogeshu Patante Narake Sacho Atma Sambhavita Stabdha Dhana Mana Madannita Yajante Namo Yagyaste Dambena Vidhi Purvakam Ahankaram Balam Darpam Kamam Krodham Cha Samshrita Mama Atma Pardeheshu Pravishanta Suyaka Tanaham Dishtakuran Samsareshu Naradhaman Shipam Yajashrama Subham Ashureshweva Yonishu Asurim Yonim Apanya Mudha Janmani Janmani Mam Apaivaiva Kaunteya Tato Yanti Adhamam Gatim Trividam Narakeshvedang Dradang Nashanam Atmana Kamakrodhastatha Lobhas Tasmad Etatrayam Yadyajet Etair Vimukta Kaunteya Tamodaras Tribirnara Acharyatmana Shreyas Tato Yati Parangatim Ya Shastra Vidimutshrijya Vartate Kamakarata Nasa Siddhim Avapnati Nasukham Na Paramgatim Shmas Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastito Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanisatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Deva Sura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga Nama Sharasha Adhyaya Hari Om. Yeah, we can read the translation. Chapter 16, the divine and demoniac natures. We can recite together. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, Osana Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They say that this world is unreal with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and have engaged in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demoniac, thus illusioned, are always thrown to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. They believe that to glorify the senses is the primary state of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable, bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Thus, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, they become too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and fall down into hell. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes proudly perform sacrifices in name only, without following any rules or regulations. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, demons become envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and in the bodies of others, and blaspheme against the real religion. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. There are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. He who discards his spiritual injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta translation of the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, namely the divine and the demoniac nature. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, put purport and translation of the first verse, 16th chapter. So we'll read, Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport again for the 1 to 3 verse, means verse number 1 to 3, and also we'll go through verse number 4 also. So these are like very important, even though the purport is really big, but we can start it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly man endowed with divine nature. Mataji, you want to read the first part? We can actually take turn to read different paragraphs. Yeah, please.
In the beginning of the 15th chapter, the banyan tree of this material world was explained. The extra roots coming out of it were compared to the activities of the living entities, some auspicious, some inauspicious. In the 9th chapter also, the devas, or godly, and the asuras, the ungodly, or demons, were explained. Now, according to the Vedic rites, activities in the mode of goodness are considered auspicious for progress on the path of liberation, and such activities are known as Devi Prakriti. You can scroll up, please, Prabhu. Devi Prakriti, transcendental by nature. Those who are situated in the transcendental nature make progress on the path of liberation. For those who are acting in the modes of passion and ignorance, on the other hand, there is no possibility of liberation. Either they will have to remain in this material world as human beings, or they will descend among the species of animals or even lower life forms. In the 16th chapter, the Lord explains both the transcendental nature and its attendant qualities, and the demoniac nature and its qualities. He also explains the advantages and disadvantages of these qualities.
Mataji, you want to read the next paragraph, please? Please take the microphone.
The word abhijatasya, in reference to one born of transcendental qualities or godly tendencies, is very significant. To beget a child in a godly atmosphere is known in the Vedic scriptures as garbhadhanas samskara. If the parents want a child in the godly quality, they should follow the 10 principles recommended for the social life of the human being. In Bhagavad Gita, we have studied also before that sex life for begetting a good child is Krishna himself. Sex life is not condemned, provided the process is used in Krishna consciousness. Those who are in Krishna consciousness at least should not beget children like cats and dogs, but should beget them so that they may become Krishna conscious after birth. That should be the advantage of children born of a father and mother absorbed in Krishna consciousness. The social institution known as Varnashrama Dharma, the institution dividing society into 4 divisions of social life and 4 occupational divisions or castes, is not meant to divide human society according to birth. Such divisions are in terms of educational qualifications. They are to keep the society in a state of peace and prosperity. The qualities mentioned herein are explained as transcendental qualities meant for making a person progress in spiritual understanding so that he can get liberated from the material world.
In the Varnashrama institution, the sannyasi, or the person in the renounced order of life, is considered to be the head of the spiritual master of all the social statuses and orders. A Brahmana is considered to be the spiritual master of the 3 other sections of a society, namely the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras. But a sannyasi, who is on the top of the institution, is considered to be the spiritual master of the Brahmanas also. For a sannyasi, the first qualification should be fearlessness. Because a sannyasi has to be alone without any support or guarantee of support, he has simply to depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one thinks, after I leave my connections, who will protect me? He should not accept the renounced order of life. One must be fully convinced that Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his localized aspect as Paramatma, is always within, that he is seeing everything, and he always knows what one intends to do. One must thus have firm conviction that Krishna as Paramatma will take care of a soul surrendered to him. I shall never be alone, one should think. Even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna, and he will give me all protection. That conviction is called abhayam, fearlessness. This state of mind is necessary for a person in the renounced order of life. Mataji, please.
Then he has to purify his existence. There are so many rules and regulations to be followed in the renounced order of life. Most important of all, a sannyasi is strictly forbidden to have any intimate relationship with a woman. He is even forbidden to talk with a woman in a secluded place. Lord Chaitanya was an ideal sannyasi, and when he was at Puri, his feminine devotees could not even come near to offer their respects. They were advised to bow down from a distant place. This is not a sign of hatred for women as a class, but it's a stricture imposed on the sannyasi not to have close connections with women. One has to follow the rules and regulations of a particular status of life in order to purify his existence. For a sannyasi, intimate relations with women and possession of wealth for sense gratification are strictly forbidden. The ideal sannyasi was Lord Chaitanya himself, and we can learn from his life that he was very strict in regards to women. Although he is considered to be the most liberal incarnation of Godhead, accepting the most fallen conditioned souls, he strictly followed the rules and regulations of the sannyas order of life in connection with association with women. One of his personal associates, namely Chota Haridas, was associated with Lord Chaitanya along with his other confidential personal associates. But somehow or other, this Chota Haridas looked lustily on a young woman, and Lord Chaitanya was so strict that he at once rejected him from the society of his personal associates. Lord Chaitanya said, for a sannyasi or anyone who is aspiring to get out of the clutches of material nature and trying to elevate himself to the spiritual nature and go back home, back to Godhead for him, looking toward material possessions and women for sense gratification, not even enjoying them, but just looking toward them with such a propensity, is so condemned that he had better commit suicide before experiencing such illicit desires. So these are the processes for purification.
The next item is Jnana Yoga Vyavyastiti, being engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. Sannyasi life is meant for distributing knowledge to the householders and others who have forgotten their real life of spiritual advancement. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door for his livelihood, but this does not mean that he is a beggar. Humility is also one of the qualifications of a transcendentally situated person. And out of sheer humility, the sannyasi goes from door to door, not exactly for the purpose of begging, but to see the householders and awaken them to Krishna consciousness. That is the duty of a sannyasi. If he is actually advanced and so ordered by his spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. And if one is not so advanced, he should not accept the renounced order of life. But even if one has accepted the renounced order of life without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself fully in hearing from a bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. A sannyasi or one in the renounced order of life must be situated in fearlessness, sattva samsuddhi, purity, and jnana yoga, knowledge. The next item is charity. Charity is meant for the householders. The householders should earn a livelihood by an honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Thus, a householder should give in charity to institutional societies that are engaged in that way. Charity should be given to the right receiver. There are different kinds of charity, as will be explained later on. Charity in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mode of goodness is recommended by the scriptures, but charity in the modes of passion and ignorance is not recommended because it is simply a waste of money. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, we can pause a bit here because there are a lot of things discussed so far in the purport. We can come back again to discuss the other qualities, but let's take a pause and discuss some of these qualities. But before that, we will start. We are doing Mangalacharan. Prabhu, can you please stand up Mangalacharan? Then we can start a little bit of discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayang Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitang Sabdhutam Parijana Sahitang Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yatkipātamaham bande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesatanayam Tadvama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Brajabadvargana Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumartha Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matidam Itadradara Naparaha. Hare Krishna. With the blessings of Shraddha Mataji and assembled Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada and previous Acharyas, I want to start today's discussion. Actually, this chapter, this divine and demoniac nature, it's like any other chapter, it's very important. In Bhagavad Gita, all chapters are important. But this chapter is more important to understand our situation, in what situation we are in right now. Because sometimes we have to take a pause, whatever service we are doing, devotional service or any other sadhana we are doing, and see how much we have actually cultivated these divine natures inside us, and how much we are still inclined to the demoniac nature. So when I was trying to actually prepare for this class, I was thinking how we can actually gradually develop these qualities so that we can because divine natures are very close to Krishna, so we want to develop these qualities to please him, not to get some kind of adoration or external fame, rather to please Krishna and be friendly with the devotees and help them also in their service. Because if you don't have quality, how can you actually help other people? So I was thinking how we can do it. So our dear Shiksha Guru His Grace Vaisheshika Maharaj was telling in his recent classes that we should actually keep a log, and we should maintain a schedule, what we are doing, and look back again and again and check that, that smart goal approach, that your goal should be, what is this smart, yes, Mataji, forgot. S, smart goal. Simple, measurable, then achievable, then it's reportable, right? Realistic, sorry. And time, it should be tied with time. I forgot. Anyway, so we should actually see, we should have smart goal for these kind of qualities. Like, we want to see that these qualities are developed in us. So the first thing here described by Lord Krishna is Avayam. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that, this Avayam is the basic quality of a sannyasi. A sannyasi should be fearless, and he should be thinking that anywhere I go, I will be protected by Krishna, which is one of the quintessential limbs of Sharanagati, surrender. There are 6 limbs. So one is like, Avasho Rokhibe Krishna, Rakshishati Krishna, Vishwasha Krishna, that, Krishna will protect me at all circumstances. That faith he has to have. And if we see actually the sannyasi in our sampradaya, all of them are like, fearless. If you just see like, Srila Prabhupada at the age of 70 years, because he was leading a very kind of, like regular sannyasi life in Vrindavan, in the association of the top class Vaishnavas, in the premise of Radha Damodar temple, at the foot of Srila Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, where all of our acharyas are eternally present. He was residing there, but he left everything and fearlessly came to the West. In one of his diary, in one of his like ledger of a particular day in his diary, I think it's Jaladuta diary 1966, dated something around means August, during Janmashtami or something. He was telling that, today is Janmashtami according to the Indian calendar, and all of my god brothers are celebrating this festival in a very pompous manner. Everybody is enjoying this festival, but I am here alone. And I don't have any devotee association and not much thing to do, because in 66 it was just the beginning phase of the movement, so he did not have many associates at that time. But it was like, but still I am not feeling any morose. I am not feeling any disappointment, because I have come here to fulfill the desire of my Guru Maharaj. And I am happy that, to some extent, I am following his instructions. So this is the mood of a sannyasi. When I was reading it, actually, I could actually relate, because when I came to US, I came to a school, when I came, first of all, I had a devotee association back there in my native country, in Bangladesh. And when I came to US, fortunately, I got another devotee association there also. But still, it takes some time to build up the relationship. Like if you move somewhere else, you cannot instantly connect with the devotees. So I was thinking during the Janmashtami day, then what will I do? Because usually, at least on the Janmashtami day, I try to spend some time in the temple, and have association of the devotees. So this feeling I had there when I was in Florida, and I went to the nearest like preaching center. It's called Krishna House. So I went there and asked them like whether they have any plan to take the students or devotees to the temple. That temple is around 20 miles from that preaching center. So they told like, okay, we have a shuttle service. It will start exactly at 5, and you have to be present exactly at 9 p.m. in the temple if you want to come back, otherwise you will miss. And the person who was driving the car, his name was Ballabh Prabhu. He was like very strong personality. He's a very nice devotee. He has a very, externally very hard shell, but internally he's very soft. If you actually mix with him in a friendly manner, or in a very intimate way, he will open to you. But externally you will be fearful of him because he's very tall, very healthy. So you will be really, and his voice is like just like thunderbolt. When he talks, it seems like the thunderbolt is roaring. So he was telling while driving the car that if anybody misses the car, I don't have any responsibility because I don't have your numbers and I don't bother to call you. You just have to be present there at 9 p.m. before the van, no matter what happens. So because he had a very strong sadhana schedule, and they had very long program next day as well for Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. So I was there, and I came back with them to the Krishna's preaching center, and fortunately they had prepared a very big feast. So even though I was alone, so called, but actually with the devotee association I did not feel alone. It made me actually more joyous, the occasion. And I had a different experience that Janmashtami, they had a different kind of arrangement. They put up Vrindavan, small Vrindavan, so they brought up their home deities who are named after Vrindavan deities like Radha Samsundar, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan, and they made Kunja, a special arrangement for them, so everybody could have a feel of Vrindavan inside the temple yard. So that was my feelings. But if you see that Prabhupada's feelings, it's a different, like he was not having any devotee association, but still he was not morose. He was feeling like, okay, I'm doing service of my Guru Maharaj. So that is actually mood of a sannyasis, because they go to the places where nobody lives. Sometimes they have to, just like in Chaitanya Charitamrita we are seeing that Srila Madhavendra Puri, he was traveling Vrindavan, and then there was nobody. He was actually fasting. He had a very strong vow that he will not ask for food to anyone. So if anything comes out on its own, only then he will actually take it. So he was sitting in a secluded place, and he was just chanting. He was not fearful that I am in a forest, I am alone, nobody is around you, what happened to me. That kind of fear is not there, because they are always connected to Krishna. But it's a very high level of stage. It said like to have that kind of, like in sannyas also there are different stages. One is like, the first stage is called Kutichaka. In I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the purport in Madhya Lila, Srila Prabhupada was explaining different stages of sannyas. The first stage is called Kutichaka, where one person will take sannyas, means like he will take, like he will renounce all of his materialistic activities, and he starts living kind of Banprastha, but advanced Banprastha, means like he will live in the forest. He will not do any like any material activities, only spiritual activities, but he will live with his wife. But wife will sleep in a separate room, and he will sleep in a separate room, but she can cook for him. So that is the norm, and he may use his collected or accumulated wealth or something for his maintenance. The next stage is actually he will forsake his all kind of accumulated wealth and everything, and he starts going for begging door to door. And during that process, he will also introduce people with Krishna consciousness also, and he will live by only whatever alms he begs every day. He will not hoard anything. So, and still he will be staying with his wife. But the next stage, so this is Kutichaka and then Bahudaka, and the next stage is called Parivachakacharya, which is a higher stage, and in which he will renounce even his wife in his permanent place, and he starts roaming different places. Means like he won't have any permanent address. He will just stay wherever the night comes, or any temple, any marketplace, anywhere, and he will just preach to people. By even he won't ask for alms, he won't beg alms, just preach to people, and whoever happily or by like intrigued by the duty of social order will give something, he will accept that. And then the highest level is Paramahansa, in which actually he even doesn't preach. He actually stayed in a place, and he just does his intense sadhana. He just gets means like supreme bliss by the reciprocation of his chanting and every devotional service he pursues. So this kind of, this highest level Paramahansa, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, for the even though somebody who is in Paramahansa level, but they come down to the level of Parivrajaka Acharya to take the role of a preacher, which we see in our line like Srila Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took. Even though they are in the level of Paramahansa, they took the service of a Parivrajaka Acharya. That's why we actually, when we say the Jayadhani, the glorification, we say like Paramahansa and Parivrajaka Acharya both together. Even though Paramahansa is higher, but we also say that he is a Paramahansa, but he has come down to the level of Parivrajaka Acharya to execute his service to the movement, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, like, we don't want to take the position of Paramahansa. We want to actually sit down at the lotus feet of the Paramahansas, like my Guru Maharaj, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like six Goswamis, and ask for their blessings for our service. He has, in one of his articles, he actually mentioned that we are actually sannyasi, and sannyasi is not, because there was an argument that why he has started this sannyasi in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Anyways, that's a different topic. It's a very different topic. Anyway, so sannyasi should be fearless and satya samsuddhit. Yeah, so I think that part, yeah. Oh, so Srila Prabhupada also introduced that, that Varnashram. So the qualities here also mentioned that some of the qualities are meant for sannyasis, specifically that Avayam, Satya Samsuddhi means like his, he is completely purified, externally and internally, both way. So this purification is usually done through the Varnashram process. In Varnashram, when a child takes birth, he has to go through from the very beginning of Garbhadan Sanskar, he has to go through 10 major Sanskaras. So these Sanskaras are meant for the purification. So there is a verse actually, it was quoted in 10th canto, chapter 5 and 4. Probably you can turn it up. It's a very important verse. So purification actually purifies the human body, but there are different type of purification for different kinds of elements of nature. So we'll see in this verse which comes in the 10th canto. Mataji, you want to read it? Yeah, please read the verse, Mataji.
Kalena snana shochabhyam samskarastapasejya shuddhyanti dane santushtya dravyani atma vidyaya.
So here says, like, actually we can read that, O king, by the passing of time, land and other material possessions are purified. By bathing, the body is purified. And by being cleansed, unclean things are purified. By purificatory ceremonies, birth is purified. By austerity, the senses are purified. And by worship and charity offered to the Brahmanas, material possessions are purified. By satisfaction, the mind is purified. And by self-realization or Krishna consciousness, the soul is purified. So these are, it's okay, but we just, so these are, I think the purport is very small. We can read the purport also, yeah. Please go to the purport also. Yeah, purport. These are Shastric injunctions, ceremonies concerning how one can purify everything according to Vedic civilization. Unless purified, anything we use will infect us with contamination. In India, 5,000 years ago, even in the village such as that of Nanda Maharaj, people knew how to purify things, right? It should be how. It should be how to purify things, and thus they enjoyed even material life without contamination. So these are the difference. So if you actually become contaminated by touching something, you can actually take bath. And the mountains and these like the places which cannot move, immovable things like trees, they get purified over time. And if you have any kind of purificatory ceremonies, if you perform, your birth gets purified. And by austerity, the senses gets purified. And by worship and charity offered to the Brahmanas, material possessiveness are purified. Means like whatever you have at your home, you have earned it through hard labor, but it's only be purified if it is engaged to the service of the Brahmanas, Vaishnava Brahmanas, or the service of the Supreme Lord. By satisfaction, the mind is purified. If you are not satisfied, whatever you get, your mind will be always disturbed. And by self-realization, means like by understanding the real goal of life, the soul is purified. If we don't understand that, then that is not there. Anyway, so the purificatory process is there. And then the next part, Samsuddhir. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthita. So that Jnana Yoga, that is also one of the main service of the sannyasis, especially those who have forsaken material duties. They have to learn or understand or earn knowledge and also distribute it to others. Because just by learning yourself is not enough. As a sannyasi, especially sannyasi in Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, they are always actually preaching to the mass people so that they can also come in contact with the devotional process. If that is not done, then actually the sannyas order is not successful. Anyways, I wanted to say something. I think one story. Okay, Dhanam Damascha. Okay, so these are the sannyas duty. Then comes Dhanam Damas Cha Yagyascha. Means like doing charity and austerity of senses. Because it is said that Grihasthas has license to do certain kind of sense gratification. Different, like they can cook nicely at home and eat it. But if you are at the temple, like Ramansaka Prabhu, he has to depend on the cooks here. Whatever they cook, he has to eat it. Right? So they are like kind of dependent on other people. But if you like, when I go to shopping, I don't think like what Jagannath likes or Krishna likes. I think I am familiar to eating this kind of items or this kind of vegetables. Take this. I don't want to experiment much. That happens, right? But if I come to temple, I have to, like last say Sunday, there was a big feast, right? All types of fish, but it was like cooked by devotees from South India, and they cooked very nicely. But it's a different experience for me. I usually don't cook that kind of preparations at home, right, Mataji? It's very good. So they have that kind of liberty. They can actually cook, and they can sometimes we go to different kinds of excursion, during holidays we go here and there. These kind of things cannot be done when you are in brahmachari life or in a sannyas life, or you are living in a temple. So this kind of liberty is there, but it should be controlled. That's called damas. Even if it is permitted to some extent, but we should try to actually minimize it as low as possible. Minimize it as possible. Then yagyas, it is also one of the responsibility. How much we have read so far? Then as Dhamma, I think we have not read the Dhamma, right, Mataji? So we can start with Dhamma. Prabhuji, you want to read Dhamma? Please go. This one.
Then as far as Dhamma, self-control, is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religious society, but is especially meant for the householder. Although he has a wife, a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for the householders even in sex life, which should only be engaged in for the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but is demoniac. If anyone, even if he is a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a child without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children. But without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure.
Actually, if you see our Guru Parampara in the temple altar, other than Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, everyone got married at some point of time. So Srila Prabhupada, he got married and he had 3 children, right? I think 3, right, Mataji? Prayag, Vrindavan, and Bhaktilata Devi. They are Srila Prabhupada's 3 children. I think all of them left their body now. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a Naishtika Brahmachari, means he never got married. Yeah, he was a special person. And then Srila Gaurkshadar Babaji Maharaj, he got married, but at very young age, his wife died. So he took renunciation from there on. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he got married. Actually, he got married 2 times. So he begot 11 children, I think 10 sons and 1 daughter or something. Total 11 children from his 2 wives. And then Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj also got married, but at a very young age he left his house. I don't know exactly what happened, why he left. So it's very common that even a grahastha person, he can take full Krishna consciousness fully, and he can elevate to the highest stage of the devotional life. If in fact among the 6 Goswamis, I think most of them were married, other than Gopal Bhatt Goswami and Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. Yeah, anyways, yeah. And Jiva Goswami, 3, sorry. Not most, like 3 of them. Anyways, next, Mataji, please read sacrifice.
Sacrifice is another item to be performed by the householders because sacrifices require a large amount of money. Those in other orders of life, namely brahmacharya, vanaprasth and sannyas, have no money. They live by begging. So performance of different types of sacrifice is meant for the householders. They should perform Agnihotra sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. But such sacrifices at the present moment are very expensive, and it is not possible for any householder to perform them. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is called Sankirtan Yajna. This Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best and most inexpensive sacrifice. Everyone can adopt it and derive benefit. So these 3 items, namely charity, sense control and performance of sacrifice, are meant for the householder.
Yeah, that's very interesting that other 3 ashram, if you see in the social order, that Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Banprastha and Sannyas, only Grihasthas are earning. Other 3 are actually dependent on them. So they have to be charitable, they have to be very generous, and they have to support the other 3 orders. That's in India still the young kids are dependent on their parents, right? Even they are going to college like 22 years, they're taking money from home mostly. At least I took from my father, I can say that. And my and the elders are also dependent on them because they don't do any work. So they're dependent on their grown child who are earning in different way of livelihood. So this is, and also the temples, they are run by the money earned by the grahastha devotees. So this is the social order. It's still there in India. Here also to some extent, but here we plan more for retirement plan, this and that. We don't have faith in our next generation. Anyways, and there it is also mentioned in the Shastras that Grihastha should perform 5 kind of yajna, right? That he has to do Agnihotra yajna because he is committing so much offenses, he is killing so much insects and things knowingly, unknowingly, every single day. So to counteract that, he has to do Agnihotra yajna. He has to feed every single day some unknown persons, invite them at home. Yeah. So there are like 5 processes. I forgot exactly what are all those. These are the 5, but in Kali Yuga it's not practical. Where we will get the guest? When you go outside, you will see during the office hour nobody is there. The streets are kind of vacant. Only some, people like, I don't want to actually name them, but those who doesn't have any, thing to do, they are there. But most people are there. So, So it's not practical. So Srila Prabhupada has given, or Lord Chaitanya has given the practical solution for Kali Yuga people that, do Harinam Sankirtan. By doing that, actually you are doing all kinds of sanskaras. And in fact, in Kali Yuga it's not possible also, because the ingredients you will offer, those will not be actually pure. So that's why every service you do in Kali Yuga should be started with Harinam and end with also Harinam. Next, Mataji, Sadvaya. And you can read Tapas also.
Then Svadhyaya Vedic study is meant for brahmachari or student life. Brahmacharis should have no connection with women. They should live a life of celibacy and engage the mind in the study of Vedic literature for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is called Svadhyaya. Tapas or austerities is especially meant for the retired life. One should not remain a householder throughout his whole life. He must always remember that there are 4 divisions of life: brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So after grihastha, householder life, one should retire. One lives for 100 years. He should spend 25 years in student life, 25 in householder life, 25 in retired life, and 25 in the renounced order of life. These are the regulations of the Vedic religious discipline. A man retired from householder life must practice austerities of the body, mind, and tongue. This is tapasya. The entire Varnashram Dharma society is meant for tapasya. Without tapasya or austerity, no human being can get liberation. The theory that there is no need of austerity in life, that one can go on speculating and everything will be nice, is recommended neither in the Vedic literature nor in Bhagavad Gita. Such theories are manufactured by show bottle spiritualists who are trying to gather more followers. If there are restrictions, rules, and regulations, people will not become attracted. Therefore, those who want followers in the name of religion just to have a show only don't restrict the lives of their students nor their own lives. But that method is not approved by the Vedas.
Okay. So tapasya is very important, right? But in devotional service, the definition of tapasya can be interpreted in a little different way. Like here Srila Prabhupada was telling, tapasya is actually austerities of body, mind, and tongue. So I think it's I forgot exactly whose lecture it was, but it is mentioned there in the lecture that tapasya is kind of rejecting or leaving your own thought and taking thought of Krishna as your own. Or whatever Krishna wants, you are doing that. That becomes tapasya. Sometimes, eating also more becomes a tapasya. We don't understand it. Sometimes dancing to please Krishna, that becomes a tapasya. Even if you're enjoying it, it can be tapasya. So not necessarily all the time, by doing, something which you don't want to do, that becomes tapasya. But sometimes doing things you want to do can become also tapasya also, as long as it is pleasing Krishna. But if it is not pleasing Krishna and you are doing to achieve something external, you are doing monobrat, you are doing lots of Astanga yoga, that's huge austerity, but not pleasing to please Krishna, just acquire some kind of material benefit. That's not actually pure tapasya. So in Krishna consciousness, tapasya means something, everything is for Krishna and nothing is for me. So that is actually real tapasya. Actually, next I can read. As far as the Brahminical quality of simplicity is concerned, not only should a particular order of life follow this principle, but every member, be he in the Brahmacharya ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, or Sannyas ashram, one should be very simple and straightforward. Means simple living, high thinking. Means your thought process will be very high, but your lifestyle will be simple. And simple means you are easily readable. Means there is no tiny bit of conceit in you. Means what you are doing, it's not you. It's kind of a showcase, which actually in most cases, in Kali Yuga we see that kind of thing very often. among the devotees also, actually, we don't actually show our true self. So what we are here in the temple, at home we are different. So simplicity means like there is no actually distinction what you are doing in front of others and what you are doing when you are alone. In fact, it is said that, for the 3 ashramas, there should not be any private life. When you have a private life, then you can actually do things which you don't have to be, like you can do anything you want, your mind want or your sense want, and you don't want to actually justify it to someone. Nobody will judge you. But if you don't have a private life, then all the time you have to be careful what you are doing, right? Then that life becomes kind of like everybody can see what you are doing, and they can actually check your integrity. How much, because integrity means like it's not what you do, what you say, what you do, means like sorry, it's not what you say. Sorry, let me rephrase it. So what you do and what you say, it's kind of honesty. Means I go to see cinema. It's honesty, an honest confession. But it's not something very high level thing. But integrity means like what you say, that you are doing. Means I am saying something in the temple, that I am doing, that is integrity. Like I really believe in what I am saying. So actually I think it is told by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu or Gaurang Prabhu, either of them I cannot figure out. So it's a very catchy point that there is a difference between integrity and honesty. Honesty is just you do something and you are expressive about that. But integrity means like you say something and you actually pursue that injunctions or that philosophy. So that's very high. So simplicity means mainly, there is no conceit, there is no facade in your personality. It's what other people say, that's actually you. Yeah. Then ahimsa means not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. One should not think that since the spirit spark is never killed, even after the killing of the body, there is no harm in killing animals for sense gratification. People are now addicted to eating animals in spite of having an ample supply of grains, fruits and milk. There is no necessity for animal killing. This injunction is for everyone. When there is no alternative, one may kill an animal, but it should be offered in sacrifice. At any rate, when there is an ample food supply for humanity, persons who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence to animals. Real ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life. The animals are also making progress in their evolutionary life by transmigrating from one category of animal life to another. If a particular animal is killed, then his progress is checked. If an animal is staying in a particular body for so many days or so many years and is untimely killed, then he has to come back again in that form of life to complete the remaining days in order to be promoted to another species of life. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. This is called ahimsa, which is a very, very basic principle of any spiritual practice. If you are like envious to, means like I am killing somebody to satiate my tongue, that's kind of like that's biggest hingsa, right? I am envious to that living entity, or I am not even considering that living entity has an individual identity. I am considering that is to satiate my tongue or my senses, which is very, very abominable. Prabhu, please read Satyam.
Satyam. This word means that one should not distort the truth for some personal interest. In Vedic literature, there are some difficult passages, but the meaning or the purpose should be learned from a bona fide spiritual master. That is the process for understanding the Vedas. Shruti means that one should hear from the authority. One should not construe some interpretation for his personal interest. There are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita that misinterpret the original text. The real import of the word should be presented, and that should be learned.
Mataji can read Akrodha.
From a bona fide spiritual master.
Akrodha means to check anger. Even if there is provocation, one should be tolerant, for once he becomes angry, his whole body becomes polluted. Anger is a product of the mode of passion and lust. So one who is transcendently situated should check himself from anger. Apaishunam means that one should not find fault with others or correct them unnecessarily. Of course, to call a thief is not fault finding, but to call an honest person a thief is very much offensive for one who is making advancement in spiritual life. Hri means that one should be very modest and must not perform some act which is abominable. Achapalam, determination, means that one should not be agitated or frustrated in some attempt. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should not be sorry for that. He should make progress with patience and determination.
Yeah, this is a fundamental principle given by Srila Rupa Goswami, right? Utsahat, dharjat, tattvat, karma, bhavartanat. Right, Mataji? Utsahat, dharjat, nischayat. Yeah, 3. Dharjat. Yeah. So Satyam is like, you cannot actually alter the injunctions given by the Shastra or the previous Acharyas. But you cannot say, I think. That I think should not be there. So actually I was listening to one of Vaisheshika Maharaj's lecture. He was telling that, always Shastric injunctions should be supported by, means like any kind of speech you make in spiritual classes should be supported by Shastra, our previous Acharyas. If you cannot do that, you should not actually say it. But yeah, sometimes, accidentally we can say something. That's why we should ask forgiveness from the previous acharyas. Yeah, but yeah, mainly we should actually connect it to the previous acharyas. Then it will be actually fruitful. Because for I can say about myself, my realization is not that deep. So when I say something, like if somebody who is very elevated or advanced in devotional life, have been practicing devotional life for maybe 40-50 years, they have very deep realization, or who are doing devotional service very sincerely, like preaching very extensively, given up a lot of material activities and dedicatedly doing sadhana, their realization should be very deep. So whenever they say something, Krishna also really helps them. It becomes Mukhya Prasadi. Krishna helps them to say the truth. Actually, you brought that point, right? That why it is actually quoted. So Krishna helps them to say the truth. But even if they don't know actually where in the Shastra that is quoted, but somehow or other it can be connected to some injunctions, which is very authentic. But not for everyone's case is like that. That's why so much concoction comes up in the scripture, and the truth is lost. So we should be very careful, especially in the neophyte level. Whatever we are speaking should be somehow or other supported by the shastras, so that people don't get, especially the general populace, they don't get bewildered what we're telling here. And then the other akrodha means like he should not be angered by anything easily. And then apaishunam, like we should find fault in ourselves rather than finding fault with other people first, which doesn't happen in usual case. People actually think like whatever I have done is correct, and even if they have done something abominable, they find excuses. No, because of these circumstances I have done it, otherwise I would not have done. So for me it's justifiable, but other people, no, why they have done something wrong. So this is our mentalities, but that's not a divine quality. Divine people, they actually find fault with themselves first before they find fault with others. And another thing is, even if you want to correct someone, you should have the authority to correct. Means like if somebody is not taking shelter to you, somebody is not your student. I think yesterday's class Maharaj was mentioning this, right? That somebody is not my student. If he comes and I cannot, I don't take the responsibility to correct him. But if somebody is submissive, pariprashnena sevaya upatekshanti te jnanam, so tad viddhi pranipatena. So one should have to come to the spiritual master in a proper manner. Only then he can be treated accordingly, or treated as a disciple. Anyway, so this is then achapalam, determination. Like he should have firm faith. Means sometimes, so Re is there also, very modest, and must be, so it's, Achapalam is determination, because there will be a lot of hindrance in your devotional life. Sometimes you can be hopeless. Okay, why all the bad things are happening to me? Why Krishna is so cruel? But that same thing, yesterday's class, Tatyanukampam susukshamana bhunjane evatmakritam vipakam. So we should have that faith, and a strong faith, that Krishna, whatever he is doing is for my good. There may be failure in some attempt, but one should be okay. Yeah. You already read, right? What's the next one here? I think we can then conclude. The word tejas used here is meant for Kshatriyas.
The word tejas used here is meant for the Kshatriya. The Kshatriyas should always be very strong to be able to give protection to the weak. They should not pose themselves as non-violent. If violence is required, they must exhibit it. But a person who is able to curb down his enemy may, under certain conditions, show forgiveness. He may excuse minor offenses.
You can read next one also, Mataji.
Shaukam means cleanliness, not only in mind and body, but in one's dealings also. It is especially meant for the mercantile people, who should not deal in the black market. Nati manita, not expecting honor, applies to the Sudras, the worker class, which are considered according to the Vedic injunctions to be the lowest of the 4 classes. They should not be puffed up with unnecessary prestige or honor, and should remain in their own status. It is the duty of the Sudras to offer respect to the higher class for the upkeep of the social order.
All these 26 qualifications mentioned are transcendental qualities. They should be cultivated according to the different statuses of social and occupational order. The purport is that even though material conditions are miserable, if these qualities are developed by practice by all classes of men, then gradually it is possible to rise to the highest platform of transcendental realization. So, yeah, it is said in I think His Grace Srivas Pandit Prabhu, when in Bhakti Shastri class he was mentioning this anecdote. He could not actually give Shastric reference, but he was telling that it's quite means logical, whatever the saying. It says like in Satya Yuga, demons and the demigods, they used to live in different planets. That's why you see the interplanet fights between the demon and demigods. They were living in Patal Loka, in Tala Vitala Atala, those lower planetary systems, and demigods used to live Sarga, Jana Mahatapa, these top planetary systems, and they used to fight in some kind of intergalaxical what you see in different kinds of supernatural movies or supernatural or superhero movies. Yeah, that used to happen in Satya Yuga, but they used to live in different planets. In Treta Yuga, they used to live in the same planet but in different continents. That's why you would see the fight between Lord Ram and Ravan, Lanka and Ajodhya. There is a not Ajodhya, his kingdom was in Ajodhya, but he was living in Kishkinda at that time. Where he was living? Panchavati. He was living in Panchavati, Maharashtra area, I think. So there is a difference of sea in between, but different continent, And then in Dapur Yuga, they started living in the same family, right? Kaurava and Pandavas, they are, same family members, but they are demoniac nature and divine nature. Pandavas are divine nature. Krishna also says here, you don't have to worry, you have that divine nature. But the Kauravas, they have, led by Duryodhana, Dushasana, they are demoniac by nature. But in Kali Yuga, the fight or the demoniac and divine nature, that stays within one single person. So sometimes we become Dr. Jekyll and sometimes we become Mr. Hyde, right? Robert Louis Stevenson, right, Mataji? The writer. So there was, that famous novel where, one scientist, he used to take a medicine at night and he used to become a very horrendous, evil person, Hyde. And then he used to take another medicine in the daytime or, when he used to come back from it's kind of an experiment. He was going through an experiment. But once he found that, that later medicine by which he could transform himself from the evil to good, that medicine stopped working in him. Means he completely transformed to a evil person. So our nature now, constantly we are fighting in our mind whether we have to listen Krishna consciousness song or movie song, whether we need to actually eat in a restaurant or take prasadam, whether we have to actually go to book distribution or go San Francisco for some amusement. This is actually constantly going on, and sometimes the divine nature wins, sometimes the demoniac nature wins. Yeah, this is. So when you see that the divine natures are predominant in you, that means you are progressing. And when you see that there is no demoniac nature, means like you are not attracted to those kind of activities which are against the devotional principle, then means like you have progressed really, really good, really good. But if you see, okay, now I am still inclined, and devotees have to do it, again and again and again. That kind of self-evaluation, that where I am actually situated. Otherwise, you don't have a goal. Like it's kind of a sheep without any kind of rudder. I'm just sailing. I don't know where I'm going. So we should actually evaluate, and that evaluation comes when you are in association of other advanced devotees who are advanced than you. That's why there is a level of dissociation also, that certain amount of time you should associate with devotees who are higher than you, because you have to take instruction, you have to follow their footsteps, you have to actually be inspired by them, by seeing what they do, what amazing activities they are doing. And of course you have to also get a spiritual energy, because they have that faith, they have that energy. So when you are associating some energetic person, you will also get some energy. Certain amount of time, or most amount of time, you should associate with the same level of devotees, because that friendship, camaraderie will help you to unlock your problems. You can confide with him, you can share your problems, they can give practical example, because those who are very highly advanced, sometimes you may not be comfortable to discuss your very own personal things. But you should also associate to some extent to the devotees who are not as advanced as you. Means like you should not be like considering yourself very advanced, but you understand that somebody is very new in the temple, but you should inspire them. By inspiring them, you also get inspiration. When you see their enthusiasm and the new person, they're chanting so nicely, you will also feel, oh, why I'm not feeling that chant? I have to also look for that. Or they are reading so vigorously or attentively, I should also read like that. So this is good actually. 20, 60, 20. Somebody told, like, I think Sureshwar Prabhu, he's one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. He used to take classes in Krishna house during summer season. He told this 20, 60, 20. So that's why even you see the Maharajas also, when they preach to people, because most of the times they are actually preaching to the people who are lower in consciousness than them, but still they look for camaraderie among them, their friends. Also, they sometimes listen to people who are like advanced in knowledge to them. They don't need to, not necessarily they take shelter of the Acharya's book. They study like in their own circle, they study very deep some shastra which are like very high nature, but they get like extreme pleasure in them. So that is also an association, even though it's indirect, right? But it's also an association. Anyways, we are associating Srila Prabhupada by reading his purport through this Bhaktivedanta purport in Bhagavad Gita. Anyways, the next verse. So these are the 26 qualities of divine nature. And we have these qualities, to some extent present everywhere. Everyone is doing some kind of truthfulness, some kind of austerity, even though we don't know it. Maybe the purpose is different. Some kind of offering also, some charity. Like every qualities we are having inside us. But to what extent we have, that is important. That is important. So you see that here also said, like, the Shudra has to be humble. He has to be meek and humble. But a sannyasi should not have to be humble. He has to be also humble. But his humility is not like, so it should not be so, because he should not give obeisances to you. That's not the social order. He is also humble. He knows that everybody is the part and parcel of Krishna, and I should actually pay respect, and he pays respect to you in that order. But it should not be socially proper to give prostrate obeisances to you. But you should give. We should give. Any sannyasi, whenever we see, we should give prostrate obeisances. So every quality is there in among everyone, but some qualities are dominant based on their social situation. Some are not that dominant. Yeah. Anyways. Then the next part, the verse 4, is the starting of qualities of demoniac nature. Maybe I'll just read, very. Anyways, you can stop here for some time, and ask for any kind of realization, any kind of thing you have read or discussed. We have discussed so far, which has really stuck in your mind. You can share some of your realization also, especially Shraddha Mataji. We want to hear her, wisdom of word of wisdom. Sorry.
Actually, this is one of my favorite chapters from Bhagavad Gita.
Excellent.
Because when I was reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita for the first time, I realized that I was a demon. till such time as I hadn't read the Bhagavad Gita, I used to think that I'm a very nice and very good and a perfect person. And then when he started describing how a person says, this much wealth I have acquired, and this person is my enemy, and I have killed him. Because I hadn't killed enemies, but I knew how to kind of, demolish. And it was horrible. And I picked up the phone and talked to my sister, and I said, I think both of us are demons. She didn't like it at all. But later on, I started reading Bhagavad Gita with her on the phone. She was in India. And then 3 years later, she said that I just hated you when you said that. But 3 years of studying, and when you start doing the introspection, you realize. And so that's why I really liked the last statement that you made when you said that the divine and the demonic will be in everybody. But it's not. So you shouldn't be overwhelmed or very, guilty of that. But it's really the proportion that matters. It's the constant cheto darpana marjanam that's happening.
Excellent. Yeah. Nicely connecting to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That we need to actually cleanse the dust, and it's because we have accumulated this through millions of births, millions of lifetimes, so it's not so easy to clean. In fact, when I was actually reading, studying, I should say, because I was giving a class regarding that topic also, that chanting of the milk ocean. There, I found that that first thing came up when you are chanting the milk ocean is the halahal poison, right? So it is said, like when you are chanting, the first thing will actually come up, whatever there inside you, the demoniac nature. Sometimes that's why when we are chanting, we think actually the worst things in our life. And you will not understand why it's coming in my mind. In fact, sometimes you have to struggle really hard to keep your mind, calm and focus on the chanting. These things, becomes a struggle. But if you can absorb that halahal, like, Lord Shiva, he could absorb it. Not everybody could absorb it, right? So then you can get the Amrit, which is the ultimate, goal of your life, like Amrit of devotional service, that, taste of devotional service. But we have to go through that halahal poison. As long as it is there, we won't actually experience the higher thing. Yeah, so Babu, anybody wants to share anything else? Yes.
I just wanted to say that for the records, my sister, her husband, and her son all took initiation ultimately.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I'm really fortunate to meet them in person. They're such an exemplary family. Whole, they're completely opposite to the demoniac nature, and all the divine nature I see then manifested in them. In fact, it's not enough to actually glorify them. Just I want to actually take their blessings. They are so qualified materially, but you won't understand by their appearance, by their talk, that they are like professor of a renowned university. They have like PhDs, but their appearance is so simple. They're just like anybody in India, and it's so qualified. And actually, this is the mood of a pure devotee. Like the next verse, it says, "Dambho darpa avimanascha krodho parushya myevacha agyanam cha avijatasya partha sampada asirim." So these are the qualities of a demon, or demoniac nature, are like pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. O son of Pritha. So you see that, people who are of demoniac nature, they are very proud of their possessions. right? I have this, I have attained this, I have made this possible. It's because of my intelligence, because of my hard work, I have attained it. But actually, according to Shastra, it is actually your karma. Whatever material success you get, it's actually predestined. Once I was in Florida, football, American football is a big thing. And especially our college football team is very famous. If you know that Florida Gators, I don't know how much you have heard of it. Florida Gators is very famous. Our stadium is known as Swamp, means Gators Stadium. Gators Swamp is a place where alligators live. So our stadium is known as Swamp. It has a capacity of 93,000 audience at a single time. And any football game day is a crazy day for us in the campus. Everybody is tailgating, everybody is doing some kind of activity, picnic. Those who are not watching in the stadium, they are watching in the big screen, the fields and everything. It's like it's something. And I never had interest in, it's like we used to call it rugby in Bangladesh. Here we call it American football. Never had interest in that. But then my friend, he was senior to me in Florida, he explained me what happens in football game. And I also become very interested, because adrenaline started rushing. 2 years they have to actually pass, and then will be touchdown. This kind of things started going over me. So I also went into this kind of thing. But what was thinking? Oh yeah. So that year, one person from our college, he was rusticated previous year, and he went to another college, I think Auburn. He became a very famous player also in NFL later. Anyways, so he was doing very good. Means like he was the quarterback of that team, Auburn team, and because of him, Auburn was actually doing very good. In fact, Auburn became champion at that year, I guess. Yeah, they become champion. I forgot the name of the person. Anyways, he's not that famous a devotee. He's just a player. He became that Heisman Trophy owner, best player. Anyway, so people are telling, had he been here in our college, we would have also become champion. Then a lot of people are lamenting, and in fact I also exclaimed to one devotee, that person would have made us win the trophy. Saying, don't you believe in karma? It's not Florida's karma that we will become champion. It's predestined. We are not supposed to get the trophy this year, so you don't be entangled so much in this kind of thing. Because anyways, so it was fun that we believe that India winning World Cup, it's just like we have done something. we relate ourselves with the team itself, but actually it's because some people have good karma, so they will become champion. It's nothing to do with us or we being supporter of those teams. So the demons, they don't actually consider that. They feel like, okay, we are good team. Like this year in soccer football, I still follow soccer, by the way. Soccer football, Germany was the top favorite. They went out of the tournament in the first round itself. They are the top favorite. So it's their karma. You can be of very high caliber, but you may not achieve the success you deserve, so-called deserve. Yeah. Anyway, so they become pride of their achievement, and they are very arrogant also. And also the aviman, that quality aviman. So it is said that aviman means actually if you have a little bit of tinge bit of cheating propensity to show people that, okay, I am this, even though you are not that. So that is opposite to simple. Simple is like you are showing, or you are presenting yourself as what you are, but Abhiman means like you are showing something which you are not. It means like you are keeping a kind of a facade or kind of a dual personality in front of someone. That is a demoniac nature. That's not a divine kind of appearance. And then anger, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moho, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6 enemies. Like Kam is like last, then Krodha is anger, then Moho is illusion, then Mada is pride, moho, kama, krodha, lobha, greed, I think lobha. So it is said like, if you have calm, means like to enjoy the world, to enjoy the senses, you only have calm. But if you have krodh, you have calm and krodh both. When somebody who has anger, he is not devoid of calm also. Somebody is greedy, he is not devoid of calm and krodh. He has all three. And somebody is, illusion or, has cheating propensity. He has calm, krodh, lobh, all three. But the highest among them is matsarya, envy. If you are envious to anybody, if you are feeling, envy to any living entity, that means you have all five. So that's why it is said like, among all the ripus, it's very difficult to get rid of matsarya. Even so-called elevated devotees sometimes have matsarya. But we have to understand sometimes these matsaryas are of also transcendental nature. Sometimes it in a material platform. So that we cannot actually judge, because somebody maybe in very higher platform, their enviness or so-called enviness may be in transcendental nature. We don't understand it. In transcendental nature, enviness brings sweetness. Like, Krishna's devotees, they have little bit of enviness among between them, but that actually increases the taste. But for the normal people, it's opposite reaction. Anyways, so let's actually discuss a story about anger. So this is story. Hare Krishna, welcome to all the audiences who come to visit our temple. We welcome you for our Bhagavad Gita lecture of Wednesday. So this story comes in Ramayana. So one day, Lord Rama's kingdom was known as Ramarajya, means like everybody was happy at that time at his kingdom. So he has a bell in his kingdom. So whoever had any issue, any problem, any suffering, any misery, he used to ring the bell, notify that I need to see Lord Ram to deal with my issue, or to find solution for my problem. So one day, Lakshmana was in charge of that. Like, he has to take the person to Lord Ram, or he has to be alert. So he was the accountable person, and he heard someone was ringing, and he was a little bit surprised, because in Lord Ram's kingdom everybody was happy. So not like you will not hear ringing of bell very often. Not like the kingdom we are living, where if that rule is applied, then you cannot hear anything but ringing of bell all the time. You will hear only that. But Lord Ram's kingdom was really completely different. So he rushed to that place where the bell was placed, and he found a dog is ringing the bell. And he was thinking, hey, a dog is ringing the bell. What happened to him? And he asked, hey dog, what happened to you? By the way, you have to understand this, that he could understand the dog's language, and dog could also understand the human language. Okay, we cannot actually logically prove it, but that happened like that in the past time. So the dog tell I have some issues, I have some problems, and I have to talk with Lord Ram in person. Then Lakshmana, okay, you have rang the bell, so I have to take you to Lord Ram. So he went to see Lord Ram. Lord Ram was sitting there, and he asked, what happened to you, dog? Why were you ringing the bell? Then the dog told, one Brahmana was passing, and he actually he had beaten me very severely. And you see that the marks of his beating in my body. It was quite severe, and I had to actually suffer a lot. So you should actually punish him. Then Lord Ram told, yeah, that's not just that you cannot actually beat an animal at any time. So means like without reason. So he actually summoned the Brahmana, and the Brahmana came, and he asked why you beat this poor dog? Then he told I took a bath, and when I was coming back, this dog was actually lying on the crossroad. I asked him to actually go. He told, no, you actually take another route. And then Brahmana became angry with this dog. How he could be so insolent. He's supposed to give respect to a Brahmana. Then he actually beat him. You should get some punishment. Then he told, Lord Ram told that why you become so angry? This is not a quality of a Brahmana. A Brahmana should be sober. He should understand the situation. Maybe he was very, and then he asked like, why you did not actually take out the way. He was telling like, I was feeling really comfort there, and I had I was sleeping there in a cocoon, in a shape. If I actually go out of that shape, I would not feel the same comfort I would have enjoyed. I was enjoying. So he was telling that. Then he asked the Brahmana that you should have been more patient, you should have actually taken other way, or you should have dealt it with in a patient manner. You have become angry, so you should get punishment now. Then he turned to dog and he told what punishment you want to give to Brahmana, you decide, because you are so intelligent, dog. Anyways, you came here for the justice. So the dog told, okay, make him the Mathadipati, the principal of Kalanjar abode. Make him the chief of the Kalanjar Math, Kalanjar abode. Kalanjar, you can say ashram, Kalanjar. Ashram is English is what? Temple house. Anyways, it's a spiritual place. Make him the Mathadipati. And then Lord Rama is astonished. Hey, this is not a punishment, this is a reward. You are making a Brahman the principal of a Math. It's a reward. You should not. It's not a punishment. You should actually think of something else. Then he was telling, no, this is a punishment. That this actually shows how intelligent the dog is. It's I was the abode or principal of that particular Math in my previous life, and I was very angry. Being a Brahman, I used to be very proud and angry to the general visitors, to my students, and anybody who used to serve in the temple. And I used to shout at them. I used to actually rebuke them, become very intolerant to them. So that's why, because of my bad behaviors, I took birth as a dog. This person, this Brahman, he is Brahman, but he doesn't have that Brahmanical quality. That's why he will be also angry towards his visitors, his students, his servants, and he will also has to take this body in his next birth. So that's why I want him to be So if you are very angry and you are in a very elevated post, that is very injurious for your next life. Because you will be committing so much offenses through your unnecessary anger. Anger is necessary because Srila Prabhupada mentioned in Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, first verse, that Lord Hanuman, he actually showed anger, but it's to, or even Arjuna also showed anger to fight against the enemies, fight against the demons to please Krishna. So anger is necessary, but is not unnecessary to just show your social status or your material possessions. So that is the story. That is the Okay. Okay, another thing, Maybe we can actually discuss another story about pride. Pride means like ahankar. Means sometimes how ahankar can actually destroy all our piety. So there was a Brahman. Once he was very, very pious. Means he used to do all of his religious activities on time. He used to do all his Gayatri mantras on time, on 3 Shandha. Means 3 times you have to do Gayatri, and 3 in juncture of time. It's like 1 in the Brahma Muhurta time, 1 in the midday time, and 1 in the evening, Sandhya Kal. Gayatri, Savitri, and Saraswati. So he used to do that, and he used to worship every day, single day. And he used to take pride of that because he was very religious. He was following the Vedic regulations, injunctions, and he used to consider other people who are not as strict as him, inferior to him. One day, somehow or other, for his, maybe because of his tiredness or something, he forgot to do his Gayatri on time and he slept. And then a person came. He actually woke him up. Hey, Brahman, why are you not doing your Gayatri? Why are you sleeping? Please wake up, wake up, wake up. Then Brahman woke up and he checked the time. Yeah, it's time for Gayatri. Then he immediately washed himself and he started doing Gayatri. And after the Gayatri is done, he asked that person, hey, who are you? You were so, good to me. You actually reminded my religious duty. Who are you? That person said, like, I am Kali personified. Kali Yuga personified. Then Brahman was really surprised. Hey, Kali personified. Kali Yuga is known for all kinds of misdeeds. You are not known for religiosity. You are known for all irreligiosity. So if you actually inspire me to do my religious duty, that's not befitting for Kali Yuga's dharma. It's not Kali Yuga's dharma. Then Kali Yuga is telling, no, I am performing my dharma. You know how? Because by doing these ritualistic activities every single day, you become pride. And when in someone's heart, when there is pride, when there is feelings that I am something, I am very high, I am other people are actually lower than me, Krishna cannot stay there. Krishna, bhakti cannot stay there. Bhakti stays in a soft place. Lord Chaitanya, when Amaga was dying, he was dying of cholera, Lord Chaitanya just touched his heart and he was telling, you are a Brahmana, how come, so much contamination came in your heart? A Brahmana's heart should be actually full of compassion, full of, softness. He should be understanding to other people, because he was considering Lord Chaitanya being a sannyasi, eating so much. Anyways, yeah, that's a very vivid pastime, but we will not go there. So he was telling that, by doing this kind of activities, only ritualistic activities, you become so proud that you started committing offense to every living entity. And I wanted you to keep doing that. If you would have, missed your Gayatri Sandhya today, then you would have considered, oh, I am so fallen. I am so, abominable that I am not doing my ritualistic, regular duties, sadhana in a timely manner. Please, Krishna, forgive me. You would have, surrendered yourself to Krishna. Then bhakti could have, stayed in your heart. But now you have done it on time, which is my duty to make you, away or keep you away from bhakti. I am successful in my duty. Even though you are considering you have done your religious activities, but it is no good for you. Rather, if you would have missed that, performance, that would have been better for you. So yeah, I will just, I think conclude my session here. If anybody has anything to share, please go ahead and share your realization. Anything about divine nature and demoniac nature, if you want to share. Yeah, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I'll do my best to try to situate this. But Vaisheshika Maharaj, when he gave the lecture on Sunday, he emphasized humility. And then I ended up, the next day I opened my Bhagavad Gita, and I was just kind of like, okay, let's just start in chapter 2. I just need to get there. And then there was another quote. It was chapter 2, the verse 4, also mentioning weakness of heart, and I just happened to land on it. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. But it got me thinking about the need for humility in order to overcome weakness of the heart, and that it's like, in even like a strange, convoluted way, we can be our own wall, because we're attached to like a pride that we have about like, no, this is what I think should be happening. But in the verse, the chapter 2, verse 4, it was talking about how Arjuna was like attached to the idea that it was a magnanimous thing that he would be a renunciate, but that there was actually no authority that was saying that was a magnanimous thing to do in the first place. And yeah, I guess the idea of humility can go both ways. It's like what you were saying, like you're going, like you can think that one thing is a good thing, but it's actually like, it's what's actually holding you back from growing. But you're just insistent that you just have conviction that, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but that ends up being like the ditches in the road for you, so to speak. But yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. But I feel like the simple definition of humility is to there is no agenda for your own self. everything is all agenda is for service of Krishna. So that's the simple thing. Just I will conclude the class with one thing. You just think about this point. I found it very profound, that if you ask any devotee that whether you are divine or demoniac, he will always say, or most of the time say, or he say that I have so much disqualification, I am demoniac by nature. He will never say that I have so many qualities, or I am so elevated. He will not consider that. Even Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita was mentioning, Jagai Madhai hoite muishe papishto, Purishir kit hoite muishe loghishto. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, and I am lower than the womb of the stools. This is the pure nature of a top class devotee. And all the devotees, they also realize that they have so much lackings. Even though they don't have lackings, they feel like Krishna is so magnanimous, he is holding me. He is actually holding me somehow or other. It's because of him I am able to do this kind of service. But if you ask any kind of materialistic person, you are demon or like demoniac by nature or divine, you'll always say, most of the times I feel like they will say I am divine. I have so much good qualities. I have achieved this and that and that. So this is something you can actually contemplate. So we should actually develop that nature where we can see our faults. We can actually, then only we can actually, thrive to rectify them. Otherwise, if we don't see the faults in us, then Krishna will also not help us to rectify that. Yeah. Thank you. All of you, please bless me and forgive me if I have said something which is not in accordance with the teachings of our previous acharyas. Hare Krishna. Now we'll do the Gaur Arati.